Hello, welcome back to this amazing channel where we unveil the undiscovered treasures in the chess world. Today I'm to analyze a chess game between Kamoga Rajab vs Mugagga Allan, which took place in the Rwabushenyi Chess Championship, and this was an engine line which Rajab fell in. So Kamoga Rajab is one of the fantastic chess players on the African continent and a multi-tournament winner, while Mugagga Allan is an upcoming youngster from Uganda who is a lawyer by profession, and he finished second in the Rwabushenyi Chess Championship. He is a well-known gambit player who sets endless complex puzzles from the beginning to the end game. By the way, Mugagga Allan likes memorizing Garry Kasparov's notorious sacs. So let's dive right into this game. Kamoga Rajab played d4, knight f6 from Mugagga Allan, knight f3, d5. So you see the symmetrical variation in the queen's pawn game. After bishop g5, which introduces us to the Torre attack. Now, the essence of the Torre attack, white is trying to develop the pieces which are on the queen side, and they're going to go ahead to go for long castling, and then they drop the pawn storm of all the pawns towards the king side of black. If black goes ahead to play pawn e6, then it means they're doing what white exactly wants. So that's why Mugagga went ahead and played c5 in this position. In case white goes ahead and plays bishop takes f6, then this gives black a slight advantage. After pawn takes f6, d takes c5, e5, and I can tell you at least black has a pawn majority in the center, and the next move they are planning to go ahead and win the pawn, which is on c5. After c5, Rajab played e3, trying to open up for the bishop, which is on f1, knight e4. Now knight e4 is immediately attacking the bishop, which is on g5. So it was very wise of Rajab to go ahead and play bishop comes to h4. Rajab played h4, which was a tempting move to play in the position. And Mugagga, to make this game so interesting, queen b6 would have been considered in the position, attacking the pawn, which is on b2, and also trying to attack the center from b6. But however, Mugagga played a more interesting move from a human approach, which is f6. Now, f6 is attacking the bishop, which is on g5, as you can see. And the only square where the bishop can try to get some harmony is to go ahead and play bishop f4. In this position, if you look at it, I would like you to take some time and guess the move Mugagga played in the position. Mugagga played c takes d4, trying to break the center. And after e takes d4, you can take a moment and guess what Mugagga did to the position. Mugagga played e5, questioning the bishop, which is on c4, at the same time opening up for the bishop. And in this position, Rajab played d takes e5. And Mugagga came up with another good move. He played bishop c5. Now you see now the bishop and the knight attacking the pawn, which is on f2. So white has to go ahead to defend the pawn. Bishop b5, check. And after knight c6, he went ahead for short castling. Now in this position, he believed that he has tried to reduce the attack, and now the rook is protecting the f2 pawn. F takes e5. e5 is being attacked by bishop and knight. So, for example, if knight takes e5, this gives black a huge advantage, because now white is imagining that now knight and the bishop are very powerful pieces which are attacking, and in this position, black can just play short castling. So now the rook is attacking the bishop, which is on f4 on the spot. So, and this means now the knight, which is on e5, could be a hanging piece. Also, you look at the pawn, which is on h4, is also a hanging pawn. Bishop takes c6, b takes c6, then bishop e3, moving the bishop away from the attack of the rook, which is on f8. And after bishop d6, attacking the knight, which is on e5, knight takes c6, queen takes h4, queen takes d5 check, and after king h8. Remember, the knight which is on e4 is defending the bishop and now threatening checkmate in one. Let's go back. After f takes e5, another variation can begin with bishop takes e5. And after short castling, Bishop takes c6. Bishop takes c6. It means now black has no threats and he has a very powerful center. It means white has no work done, and at least black can play this game. All the pieces of black is threatening to go ahead and play bishop s6. That's why after f takes e5, Rajab tried bishop g5, trying to attack the queen, which is on d8, but bishop dropping back to e3 should have been considered in the position. So after knight takes g5, then knight takes g5. In the position, Mugagga Allan played shortcasoni. Knight c3, attacking the center immediately. In this position, knight d2 should have been considered. But however, he played knight c3, hitting immediately on the center. And Allan played h6, a simple move, just attacking the knight, which is on g5. And remember, when the knight falls back on f3, then pawn comes to e4, attacking the knight can be a very powerful move. However, let's go through and see. In case of knight f3, then e4, and after knight h2, bishop e6, knight f4, bishop d6, g3, queen f6, and after knight c3, going back, bishop c5, queen h5, bishop f7. I can tell you black has a huge advantage and is almost winning the game. Let's go back. Rajab tried to gambit the piece and he played knight takes d5. Now, in his mind, he was planning for Mugagga to fall into his trap. And Mugagga played h takes d5. Then he can go ahead and play bishop c4. Black plays any other move, maybe like s6. This is lost for black because now moves like knight e7, double check from the bishop and the knight. Black plays king goes to h8, then queen comes to h5, can be checkmate. But however, after bishop c4, Allan played a more stunning move which shocked Kamoga Rajab. Allan played bishop e6. Now the bishop e6 stops the discovered double checks from both pieces. So in the position, Rajab was shocked by the move and he played knight f6, which was a dubious move in the position. After queen takes f6, h takes g5, then he played bishop takes f2, checking the king. In case of rook takes bishop, then queen takes f2, check, and then he'll go ahead and pick the bishop, which can be on c4. That's why in the position, Rajab played king h1, and after queen g6. You see now in case of any pick, then the pieces are protected. The queen is watching the bishop, the rook is also watching the bishop on f2, and also queen checks can be very dangerous in the position. That's why in the position, Rajab played bishop takes e6, queen takes e6, and after queen h5, Allan played rook f4. You see now the bishop is going to support the rook check, which can be very dangerous on h4. That's why in this position, Rajab played rook takes bishop f2, and after rook takes f2, he played g6. In this position, Allan played knight e7. In case of any queen check, then king f8, and after queen h8, either knight g8 or queen can also still come back on g8. And after knight e8, then queen h5, then in case of queen comes to c6, threatening check and also threatening to win the pawn, which can be very dangerous on the white side. However, after knight e7, Rajab tried and played king g1, attacking the rook. And in this position, Allan played another super strong move. He played queen b6. So queen b6 is a very powerful move, trying to pin the king against the rook. And in case of any discoveries, rook can come on f5, and it could be in check, and then it can win the queen, which can be on f5. That's why you see queen h7 check, and after king. In case of any rook comes to f1, then black can just take the rook in check and can also go ahead and pick the pawn, which can be on g6. And I can tell you that this will be winning for black. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in your games. Thank you.